Special Village Board Meeting on June 6th, 2024. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Niles.
Here.
White.
Here.
Stigler.
Here.
Adams.
Here.
Reynolds.
Here.
An open meeting law and compliance check. The agenda was posted on the 3 village public notice boards, the village website, and distributed to all news media requesting notification in accordance with the open meeting laws on or before 6 p.m. on Wednesday, June 5th, 2024. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, the reason for the meeting is interview architect firms in response to their proposals regarding the remodeling of the existing fire station with sleeping quarters and fitness room, new DPW building, and village campus electrical upgrade. Welcome, people.
Hi.
Glad you made it.
Yeah.
Appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having us.
So you can start if you want.
Okay.
Give us your spiel or whatever you want to call it.
Sure, excellent. Well, I just want to thank you guys and everyone here for, giving us the opportunity to, present our,
Push the button on the microphone there, it should stay on, and
Sure.
then we'll have better hearing.
Can you hear me?
Yep, that's good.
Good,
Okay,
thank
great.
you.
So yeah, thank you for allowing us this opportunity to just present our services here. My name is Patrick Wesley. I'm with Barrios Design and Consulting. We're located in downtown Milwaukee, and I'm here with my colleague Josh Cook, and as well as our consultants from Harwood and R.A. Smith, who we will discuss later. A little about the team and our firm. So, Barrios Design, like I said, we're a full-service architectural firm located downtown Milwaukee. This type of work is our specialty, specifically DPW facilities, and we are joined with Harwood Engineering and R.A. Smith. R.A. Smith to help us with the civil portion of this scope, and as well as Harwood Engineers, who will assist us with the mechanical, electrical, plumbing issues that may arise during this process. So a little bit more about Barrios Design and Consulting. Norman Barrios is our principal architect, partner in charge. Unfortunately, couldn't be here, he's traveling. I'm Patrick Wesley, a project architect with Barrientos. Been in the field for 10 years and have been with Barrientos specifically for 5 years now. And then my colleague Josh Cook, who would act as architectural designer, kind of be doing a lot of the heavy lifting during the project, day-to-day tasks, brings a little more of that design nuance to the project. So as you know, as I've said, we specialize in these facilities. We've done these throughout the state of Wisconsin, mostly, even many around here in the Milwaukee area. And we're even starting to expand beyond the state borders. We've done over 100 facilities in the almost 25 years, I'd say, we've been doing this building typology, these types of building typologies. And we've worked with towns, villages, cities, and counties of all different sizes. And so as I said earlier, we have Brad, and who's gonna, from R.A. Smith, who's gonna just, maybe you wanna just introduce yourself really quick, Brad.
Yeah, Brad Harchis from R.A. Smith, civil engineer, site work.
And Tom Peterson from, Tom, you wanna just introduce yourself?
Hi, Tom Peterson with Harwood Engineering, Vice President, and head up the electrical group over there.
Yeah, so these guys bring good experience to the team. And then Brad, sorry, I didn't mean to sit down. Why don't you just kind of tell a little more about R.A. Smith?
Yeah, absolutely. R.A. Smith, we're a
Do
multi-disciplinary.
you want to speak in the microphone here that everybody can hear you listening at home?
Is this?
It's on, yeah, you're good,
Okay.
you're good.
So R.A. Smith is a multidisciplinary firm, which means that we have disciplines such as structural engineering. I am in municipal engineering, so we have a municipal department which works for municipalities throughout southeast and northeast Wisconsin, around Madison as well. We have surveyors, we have transportation engineers, we have structural engineers and designers. So we have all the ability in our house to handle all the site work and all the civil and permitting that would be required for this. Multiple offices in the States, headquartered in Brookfield, about 150 or so people in Brookfield. Appleton, which is where I'm out of, we've got 13 up there. We have Cedarburg, we have Madison, there's an office in Milwaukee, and one in suburbs of Chicago. And we are going over 40 years now in business, again, headquartered out of Brookfield. We've done numerous projects with public work facility expansions and fire stations. I've done fire stations in the last few years in Kenosha, in Freedom, Wisconsin, in Viroqua, Wisconsin. I've done public works facility expansions in Green Bay, in Madison, in Appleton, De Pere. So there's a number of projects in the last handful of years, I've been there for 6 years now, that I've done for the primarily northeast, but southeast Wisconsin as well, both fire stations and public works facilities. And pass it along.
Great, thanks. Tom, why don't you just give a few words about Harwood?
Sure. Again, I'm Tom Peterson, Vice President and head up the electrical group at Harwood. I've been with Harwood for about 30 years. This year, we're celebrating our 40th year in business. Over those 4 decades, we've offered also multidiscipline services for several different clients, all kinds of different clients, all kinds of different projects over those years, including several municipal clients and owners. Probably in the last 10 years or so, half of those projects have been with Barrientos. It's always fun to hear architects talk about axles and net weights and so forth. It doesn't seem very architectural, but it's always impressed me. So again, we offer many disciplines under one roof. So mechanical, electrical, plumbing are 3 of those disciplines. Over those 40 years, we've worked together as in our disciplines together to get details, specifications, procedures together to provide well-coordinated, well-presented designs for our clients. We've worked on, again, several projects, existing buildings. I think it's probably the most enjoyable part of the business, in my opinion, getting out, examining existing infrastructure, getting our hands dirty, understanding what's there, evaluating it, reporting on it, providing estimates, and showing our clients what can be done better. So we appreciate the opportunity to share our experience with you, and once again, thanks for your time.
Thanks, guys. So yeah, it's good for them to have come along, kind of just show the depth and experience of the team we're trying to assemble here. I just kind of now want to get into a little bit of the scope of work and how we would approach that. So we would start with we'll call a space needs assessment. And so, before we can really begin design, we really need to kind of understand what we're working with in terms of data. So basically, the space needs assessment would talk with various employees, people at DPW, the fire department. We'd interview them, talk with them, and just try to get an idea of what spaces they need, how big these spaces need to be. We'd get inventory lists, fleet lists, staffing levels, now and kind of projecting in the future as well. And that would really help us establish then basically a point to go forward with. And so we compile all that data into a spreadsheet, and that would really give us a tabulation then of how much space we're really looking at for each of these spaces broken out, depending on what the users are requiring and asking for, and even suggesting to us. And so we'll take this spreadsheet and all this information, and at the end, of course, we'll formulate it into a study. And the study will take that that hard data, and it'll really kind of turn it into something maybe more so layman friendly, something that's going to expand upon what the data means, summarize, try to reach some conclusions, so that you know what to do with the information, and you have it, of course, well documented within a study. So And then, of course, with that data, then we're able to take that information and go into design. And so, like I said, with that spreadsheet, we'll get the square footages that we need, and then we can kind of size each of these individual spaces in these rooms. And then as we start laying them out here, we can really get an idea of, okay, what adjacencies are necessarily important, what has to be next to what, and then we can really start to get an idea of how these floor plan options, how these floor plan is gonna lay out. And of course, there'd be a few alternate conceptual plans as well. And even, looking at those site plans from a civil perspective, we'll kind of look at it a little more, if you want to talk about it a little
Yeah,
more
I can
different.
get into a little bit of what we do
Yeah,
at this stage, the schematic stage for the site. So we do a survey and we look at a few things that we have in the past. When you're dealing with a public works facility or a fire station, there's things that crop up, which you don't want them to be cropping up down the line. So you want them at the schematic level. One of them is stormwater management, how you manage your stormwater. That's a pretty obvious one, which everybody kind of knows that you gotta figure out early in the game. But you also want to, what we do is we get from you guys the vehicles that you have here on the site. And the site layout, we have a CAD program that we can use. We take those vehicles and we make sure that how we lay out the site, that the vehicles can go through the site circulation properly. We've seen it in the past too much where you put a material storage bin somewhere and you didn't figure out how big the trucks were that need to get in and out of the storage materials or that need to circulate around it. And so we do that in the schematic stage. We'll give that information to you using your vehicles. Also, the staging of the construction. This is going to be an active site while this construction is going on, is it not? Right, so that's something that you need to keep in mind as you're designing your site work and the building for that matter, is how are you gonna stage the different phases? How are you gonna be able to maintain access everywhere on the site that you need it, from snow plowing to materials that you need through the year while you're doing construction. The security of that and how the security fences are placed need to be considered at this schematic stage. So keep that in mind, that's something that needs to be done now. Not everybody considers that. Another thing that I would bring up is the final security of the site. How important that is. The fencing, is there going to be access to the public to drop off yard waste somewhere on the site? Is there other places on the site where you don't want the public having access? And how is that fenced, and how is the gates being operated? How does that tie in with access to the building, in and out of the building and at ease, and where do people park? So these are all considerations in the site that we bring into play at the schematic stage here that we're proposing for you guys right now.
thank you. And so during this schematic design process here, to kind of dive into it a little further, we like to get everyone involved if possible. So, oftentimes to kind of give a little insight into our processes here, workshops, whether it's just with the staff. Some entities have even done workshops that are open to the public, if that interests you. So we've done it all. So we kind of have a process of interviewing people, working collaboratively with you guys, the client, or the users, both, and putting together an option that we then kind of want to proceed forward with, where we're going to sort of develop it a little more specifically. And then from there, we'll prepare a schematic cost estimate of that option. The third task here is an optional task. Oftentimes with these projects, you get the cost estimate and they may or may not go anywhere. And then you're still left with the issues that you currently have. Aging facilities, they're undersized, certain problems. So it's kind of nice to sometimes exercise this option. It's called a facility conditions assessment. And it basically allows us to go through the entirety of your facilities and document them, analyze them, point out things that are not quite working anymore, that need to be updated to more modern day standards, issues, deficiencies with the facility, and kind of then develop, okay, which of those things need to be, say, fixed in the next year, next few years, or beyond, So you can kind of get an idea of, okay, if we are to stay in this facility, what is that necessarily gonna cost, or what are we all in store for, really?
Do we wanna talk a little bit about Harwood's role in that?
Yeah, I
how
think,
we come up with the facility condition assessment?
Yeah,
For
Tom,
sure.
I think this is a good point there, where, a lot of those, components will be, mechanical, electrical, plumbing in nature.
Yeah, we do assessments of this type of building and several buildings often and all the time. We have a team come out, look at mechanical. Mechanical is pretty well established as far as the ASHRAE standards go. They have life expectancies for different types of equipment. Electrical, not so much, so we're, we need to sometimes work with an electrician to open up certain pieces of equipment if it's got active components inside. Otherwise, just a visual inspection, we can usually tell if it's in great shape or if it's in an area that's, dirty or dusty or whatever, and give you an idea of something, if it just needs to be cleaned, tested, or replaced, if it's dangerous, what it might cost, give you some options. So, and of course, if it's something that can be expanded. I know she has several meters around the site here, so one thing we do usually do is call the power company to see what your maximum demands are at different buildings, to see like you're thinking about backing up with a generator. I think the meters you have here aren't the type of meters where I can call We Energies and say, what is the maximum demand at this meter and what is it at that meter? So if it's something you wanted to nail down, I would say you should have it metered by an electrical contractor for 2 weeks or so, see what your real demand is. Lots of times, almost all the time, if you have, say, 100 amp service to a building, you might see a maximum demand of 30 amps or less. It just, because we're bound by code to kind of worst case, our calculations and sizing everything, things get, you have much bigger equipment than you really need. So if you sized, say, a generator to back up 100 amps here and 100 amps there, you're probably oversizing things. So I'd suggest you spend a few $100s to have an electrician meter those, if that's something you're considering. That's just an example of kinds of things we do. So.
Excellent, thanks, Tom. And then a request was sent earlier this week for some specific cost information, what we think things are gonna cost. I think we were going off of some of the existing plans that you guys had done in years previous. And we sat down with Norman, and we were able to put together this, for a DPW building, it's assuming like a pre-engineered metal building type facility, a pretty simple structure, probably the most efficient cost-wise you could get. We would say probably about $225 a square foot is what you're looking at. And then for the fire addition renovation, we would say about $350 a square foot. And then in terms of, I believe it was asked for a fee of our work. We don't really have an idea yet of this project process. So obviously that's part of the scope we're talking about here. So we would obviously dive into that further. So at this point, we probably feel comfortable more so giving you guys a percent of whatever an estimated construction would be of 7.5%. And I'm gonna just hand it over to Josh here, and he's gonna kind of just go a little more, through our, design process. Some time left here.
Yeah, so, I mean, this proposal is gonna take us pretty much through schematic design. If you were to continue with us, we move on to design development. Key component in that is picking out one of the options that is most preferred. Once we pick out an option, we're gonna refine that design by detailing architectural features, materials, systems, and dimensions. Following that, we move to construction documents. In construction documents, the goal is to create a comprehensive set of drawings and specifications. These drawings and specs, they'll provide detailed instructions for construction and include most of the technical information. And then following that, the village would hire someone to construct the building, and the architect and engineers would be working throughout construction administration. And the goal here is to oversee the construction process and to ensure that everything adheres to design and the specifications that were provided. The biggest thing is addressing issues that arise and coordinating with the contractor and the village. And then I'll recap some of our previous experience. As stated by Patrick earlier, here's a pretty simple list of some of the projects that may relate to this one that we have experience with. Like we said earlier, we've worked with many villages, cities, and counties on a variety of projects, and majority of them being municipalities, whether it's for highway facilities, DPW facilities, village halls, fire departments. This is something that we really specialize in and we take pride in. I'm gonna go briefly through some examples of some facilities that we've done. This is a county facility in Menominee. This is American Packaging, which is another kind of business-oriented facility.
Yeah, corporate headquarters, I believe.
Another highway facility in Calumet. Polk County, another highway facility. And all these facilities, they have a lot in common where they have a lot of vehicle storage, repair facilities, administration, and crew areas. So it's a big variety of different types of architecture that we're dealing with in all these buildings. Pepin County, which is a highway department. This is in Pewaukee, the new public works. This was actually something we recently completed within the last year. This is the Streets and Utility Garage, New Berlin. Another highway facility in York County. And then a courthouse, which has a lot of offices and things of kind of a business more nature in Portage County. So I'm gonna wrap up the presentation, kind of reiterating some points that we talked about before, but the main key on why our team is the right fit for this project is we really specialize in these public facilities, and we have the proper experience in them. We've done over 100 of them, and throughout our 25 years of experience, worked throughout the state of Wisconsin. Our goal is to really kind of work with you guys and figure out what your budget goals are and make sure that we can design something that aligns with that. We're gonna do that by sitting down with staff and making sure your needs also meet with your budget. We have ample project management experience, and a major goal throughout this is building a building that's secure, efficient, and sustainable, and overall design a facility that positively impacts the community for decades to come. Appreciate the time, everyone.
Pardon me?
I said appreciate the time. We want to talk about questions and.
I was just gonna say, do you have questions, anybody on the board?
I have a question. You mentioned in your presentation about related projects on the list. Okay, you're very successful in doing that. What's the one major factor that puts you above your competition in securing the business that you did? Can you quantify that a little bit?
You mean like how did we get those
How did you
projects?
get Why you as opposed to other people that are bidding on the same thing?
Are you talking specifically, DPW, fire department, or?
Well, let's say DPW. Why would you get that? How would you get some of those bids on there? What is the determining factor for your advantage?
I think there's a variety of architecture firms, and I think a variety of them basically try to tackle several sectors. You see a lot of firms will try to tackle, whether it's public works, religious, education. They do a variety of sectors, and we really have kind of focused on, especially with our size, we're able to kind of focus on one sector. And by doing that, majority of our work is similar to, we've met with a lot of counties, a lot of municipalities, whereas in certain firms, I guess they have several sectors that they're kind of trying to divvy their work and trying to divide it between them.
I think, originally, maybe when Norman Barrientos had first gotten the, the first DPW oriented project, maybe it was a little bit of luck, that would have been maybe 25 years ago. But since then, it's just become, we're known as the firm that specializes in this. And it seems like a simple building typology. You could make the argument that it might be, but there really is a lot of nuance to these facilities nowadays. And
And I don't mean to interrupt,
Yeah.
I just like, and I'll just interject, we're close to another couple of architects in southeast Wisconsin, and, I've heard them say, oh, this is Barrientos, we don't, there's no need to go after it, it's their wheelhouse, and, we wouldn't be able to compete with them, so, it's, I've heard the competition step back when they've heard, Barrientos, or even when they see the job, they just know that it's kind of in their wheelhouse, and they would do a good job, so.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, they either just haven't taken the time yet to learn that building typology, or, but like I said, we've done so many of these facilities, it's become a specialty for our firm.
Thank you.
Anybody else, any questions? Board? Seeing none? I wanna thank you guys for coming. I guess we kinda did this from the standpoint, these are the people that made an offer to come or bid. We thought we'd do more justice if we sat with you guys face to face, so I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, we appreciate that opportunity to
Yep.
come here.
Very good, thank you.
I guess I could just think, Bob, sorry, I do have a question, I guess. On the side of research of what we're looking at here, you did mention at one point about some prior schematics that we had for a prior version of this, but how much research have you done on what our current project is?
Just an understanding the scope.
To understand what it is we're looking for, yeah.
Well, we looked at I think you had sent an RFP, and Isabel was working, with you on that RFP, and we did review those previous plans, and I kinda have an idea in my head of, okay, you're looking for about, was it five or so stalls for, DPW, and then some renovations in the fire department.
Yeah, and all those items
All on
will-
the same site.
Yeah, all those items will kind of sit down with staff and sit down with, people who are working day to day and see if they actually meet what they need.
I will add that I had a conversation with Chris, was that you I spoke with, and we went over the previous RFPs that were there and the previous schematics that were drawn, and walked around the site and had conversations about asking what's this and what are our options and things like that. So there was also a call and a conversation that I had to kind of find out what had previously been done and mistakes maybe that were done and what you're looking for.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.